Hi, I'm Shivam,
Hi, I'm Izzy,
and this is PhoenixChat.
where one of us can read.
Which one?
You find out.
Hello again, and welcome back to another episode of PhoenixChat. So, last time we unveiled a little bit of a new schedule for how we're going to be doing content, and it looks like we're going to be trying to stick to that in the future. And also last time, the party just had survived a spooky, horrible mind dungeon that turns out was in the spirit realm. So that was fun.
Aye shits. Yay.
Yeah. But now we know the
learned
truth. Yeah, but now we know the truth. The aye shits aren't just these weird, creepy things. They are apparently the divided soul of Inari Okami. And if you guys had spent any longer in there, then your souls probably would have been split in half too. Which is fun.
Dude, could you imagine a good and a bad Juliet? Oh my god. That's such a scary thought.
I think Juliet's the evil twin.
Yeah, but no, that's not the scary part. Juliet is the evil twin, that's fine. But could you imagine, like, a good Juliet?
Oh no.
Oh god.
Oh, that's horrifying. I thankfully managed to avert that horrible future. And you guys saved a woman in red from this horrible, weird black mold who revealed herself to be Inari Okami, the goddess of all kitsune, as well as Juliet's great, a whole lot of greats, grandmother. Yeah, so if you wanted to explain a little more about Inari Okami.
Yeah, so Juliet saved Inari Okami and was like, well, thank you for saving me. Like, holy crap, you're my grandkid. Awesome. We go back and I introduce everybody as like, hey, this is my grandma, Inari Okami. And she's just like, oh, hey, what's up, guys? And they're like, oh my god, goddess, what the fuck? And I was like, well, how the hell did you get in here? And she's like, oh, I don't really remember. I think I was exploring or something. But the last person I told that I was going to this place was Katsumi, which is Juliet's mom. And all of us were like, Juliet's mom didn't tell anybody. And Inari Okami has been missing for a long time, too. So we were all like, oh, shit. Things are going down. Yeah.
I think Boondock and Aston were the first two people to really clue in on like what that meant, and so like they kind of made the implication like, well, I guess if she's the only person who knew where you were, and you were missing for this so long, I think I may have known what happened there. And so Narukami was like, well, okay, I guess that makes sense for the how, but what exactly would be the motivation to remove the goddess of Kitsune from being seen again. And so the party kind of puzzled about that one for a little bit, but couldn't really come up to a good answer for now. But you introduced her to the rest of the party. Aston gave a very like formal, extreme bow. The rest of the party just kind of acted as their normal selves, even in the face of a goddess. Yeah. But thankfully, Inari Okami is super chill and cool, and she even offered you guys a gift. One of 3 different blessings, if you want to go into the blessings and what they did.
Yes. So she was like, okay, I have 3 gifts for you. You can have the gift of money, life, or power. So the money, I think, was just like, what? 1,000
just gold. I think they go 1,000 gold each. Mm-hmm.
And none of us wanted the money at all. We were like, okay, whatever. Life, which I think Hops and Essen were kind of on the edge of that one. What was that one again? I am so sorry.
Yes, so, at the beginning of each day, you guys would get temporary HP. It wasn't a lot, it was, like, less than 5. But the first time that someone in the party, like, properly died, the Blessing of Life would restore them back to health and bring them back up with 1 HP. Which, like, really, really good as a safety measure.
Cries.
And then power, you guys could all choose a feat to pick from. I really like doing this as sort of the reward to like give you guys like one, the option to choose like what your like reward for this arc was to be, and two, to make the reward not just necessarily money but like these weird like blessings, like giving you guys the ability to like pick a feat or like have like this safeguard, like felt like really nice and interesting, and I really liked and enjoyed hearing you guys discuss what the best options were, and then like if you decided to pick power, what like your best options for feats would be.
But before we chose any of these, I asked Inario Kami a question. I was like, hey, so Essen, I kind of did something, and Essen only has X amount of years to live. Is there anything we can do before I choose? And as I fucking am stupid and didn't realize Essen was right there, and Essen's like, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah, no, you very specifically said without thinking, yeah, I gave Essen half my life force. And Essen just slowly turns around like, you fucking did what now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Essen fucking lost his shit for a little bit just cause, like, Juliet insisted that it wasn't anything important.
It's really
but, like,
not that important. I mean, it's just 500 years of her life.
To Juliet, that's nothing. To Juliet, that's absolutely nothing. Yeah. But to Essen, like, that sounds like it has so many, like, dire consequences, and, like, it sounds like so much. It's just an interesting perspective, as in, like, Essen's only going to live 100 years compared to Juliet, who's going to live, well, before this, she was going to live up to 1,000, then she would ascend to a god and live forever. And the only thing she really gives up is, like, now she only lives 500 years, and she doesn't get to become a god, but she doesn't want that.
I was gonna say, she would never fucking want that, ever.
Yeah. So, to her, it's nothing, but to Essen, who only lives, like, maybe 100 years, and maybe not even that, considering, like, that's so much.
Yeah. So, oops. That happened.
Yeah. But Essen is sad for a little bit, and so I believe like Boondock though like has a nice little heart-to-heart with him, explaining like, yeah, like that was that, but like there's nothing more you can do with it. The only thing you can do is like, live a good life, make sure that you fix whatever's wrong with you and that kind of stuff. But Inario Kami then goes on to explain that because Essen has the Kirin inside of him, he effectively is consuming energy at like twice the rate. And when he transforms proper into the Kirin form, he is going to be consuming energy just like even more than that. So the more that Essen continues to use the Kirin form, and the longer that this continues onwards, the more and more time is going to run out for him, the shorter Essen's life is going to be. And Narukami then explains that there is an artifact in the Kitsune clan called a Dawn Shard. It is basically this well of like concentrated power, and it should be enough to at least sustain Essen for a good long time. And so Julia explains, like, well, okay, like how do we get it? And Narukami explains that only the leader of the Kitsune clan can get a Dawn Shard, as it's an extremely rare resource that only happens, I believe, it's something like once every 100 years or so. So if you want to explain what you did after finding that out.
Okay, so she is extremely afraid of only a few things in life, like, ever. And her mom is one of them. So, for her to say, oh yeah, you just kind of have to, like, overthrow your mom in power, she's like, oh, absolutely not, I can't do it. Like, straight up and down, she's like, I can't. There's no way.
I think the first implication was you asked your mom, like, politely for it or something like that, and then
or
you made it clear, like... Yeah, and you made it clear, like, those things are probably not going to happen. And that's when Narukami began to suggest, like, well, if you can't do any of that and your mom's so corrupt, then, I mean, why don't you take it from her?
Yeah. She was like,
Mm.
I don't know about that. Because then she was like, well, the only way I could do that is to do the Rite of Ascension. And everyone's like, the fuck does that mean? She's like, basically, I would have the approval of the Kitsune Court to overthrow my mom if I wanted to. And I'm like, well, the only way I can do that is if I have my mom's permission, which I can't because she's a bitch. And then Inario Kami was like, ho ho ho, what if I give you a blessing? And she's like, what's that gonna do? And she's like, dude, my blessing. My and
No, she says,
Boondock is like, oh, I get it.
No, she says that she's your grandmother technically, so like, because she needs Juliet needs approval from a higher up female figure, and currently that was only her mother before Inario Kami showed up.
Yes.
But because Inario Kami is now here, Juliet now has permission to properly vie for the throne. And that's when the rest of the party realizes that's the motivation. That's the reason that Inario Kami was brought out of the picture. It's that so that Juliet could have no options whatsoever. So Juliet was extremely like uncertain about this, but Essen then explained to her, well, if your mother decided to go through all this trouble to take out the Inario Kami, you do realize that means that she's afraid of you. And that she's trying to do everything in her power to make sure you can't do this. Because she knows that, like, if you do this, there's a very strong possibility you might be able to properly win. Yeah, so if you want to explain from there.
Oh, excuse me, I'm dying. Anyway, so basically, Essen gave a really good fucking speech, like, to motivate Juliet. Like, you are strong, you are powerful, you can do this. And she was like... I mean, I can try, but I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. They're like, no, that's fine. Like, we're not expecting you to go, like, right fucking now. And we're like, okay, cool. So, Inario Kami is like, okay, then I'll give you my blessing. So, she, had Juliet kneel in front of her, and she put her hand, like, on her forehead. And everybody else could see that Juliet had, like, these red glowing marks, like, cover her body. And then when she opened her eyes, she had this one white streak, like, on her bangs. And revealing, like, hey, now she's blessed by the goddess, so fuck off, all y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think we're gonna do the cool thing, too, of, like, as soon as you get closer to the arc, like, Juliet's hair is gonna go, like, more and more white. Which should be super fun and cool. But after this conversation, you accept. I believe that at this point, Julie asked for just a one-on-one conversation with Inario Kami.
After Inario Kami put out like a whole spread of food for everybody too.
Yeah. So the rest of the party sits down and eat, and Inario Kami and Juliet decide to head outside the cave.
After the plot blizzard is gone.
Yes, the plot blizzard is now gone. It's now a nice, like, day outside. You both kind of sit on the cliff edge and begin to talk with each other if you want to explain what you guys talked about.
Okay, so Inario Kami and her decided to, like, just talk, and she was like, well, I've been gone for, like, hundreds and hundreds of years. I have no idea what's going on, so why don't you just catch me up with what's going on in your life so I can kind of piece together everything. And she was like, you really don't know how bad my mom is fucked up. She has turned the entire, like, Kitsune realm upside down. Like, she rules like a dictator. Nobody wants to, like, be even near her presence because they're so scared she's going to, like, kill them. There's, like, kind of like a mini civil war going on, and, like, it's bad. And she made Juliet try to do something if she didn't want to do. And that's what made her run away. And then she basically explained, like, her life up until now. And then she was like, yeah, well, Cass has betrayed me. I feel like I can't even trust myself or anybody else. And, like, now with the whole Essen thing, and now this Rite of Ascension, she basically is going into a fucking downward spiral of anxiety and depression.
Mm-hmm.
And Inario Kami's like, okay, hold the fuck up.
Yeah. So, tackling one thing at a time, Inario Kami decides to start off with the whole Cass situation, and she decides to explain, well, in the dungeon, like, you weren't intentionally trying to hurt people, but, you know, you kind of accidentally did there. And you did kind of mess up a little bit, but like your party members forgave you. So maybe it's not necessarily the same thing, but maybe the thing with Cass is in the same vein. And realistically, the only person that the person that's affecting the most for Juliet to carry this weight and the burden of like of hating Cass, it's just going to hurt Juliet more.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's up to Juliet to try and like be the big person, at least try to talk things out, and it might not necessarily work out, but like Juliet still needs to attempt to try just to at least move past things.
Mm-hmm.
And so Juliet immediately like hates so much that she's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like I don't believe like they talk too much about like the whole self-esteem and about like getting ready for fighting your mother and everything like that, and all the stuff with the rite of ascension.
Yeah, I think that's more of a self-discovery kind of thing. Like an Kami can help, but I think it's more of a Juliet has to discover like, yes, she can do it like on her own, or like with the help of the other party members. Yeah.
And so she also tells Juliet then, you know, it's like she's always going to be Juliet's grandmother, so like they can talk whenever she wants to, just about anything like this in general. And so she shows Juliet how to summon her. And so she says like get this incense and then pray at dawn, and one of my messengers will at least like be arrived to like give me a message. And if you like sacrifice food, they'll like get there quicker. And then she also breaks out a bottle of sake, and you two drink for a bit.
Because duh, they're
yes.
both alcoholics. It runs in the family.
Yeah. So after you guys drink, you head back to the party. And Kami is like absolutely fucking fine, but like Juliet's sloshed at this point.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Essen goes over to like pick up the stumbling Juliet. And Inario Kami just kind of like hands her over, but not before making very poignant eye contact and just staring at Essen. Essen just kind of like mildly sweating under the pressure, before Inario Kami just gives a very stern look and just tells him, take care of Juliet. And Essen just kind of like quietly does like a little like fist bump, walks away.
Like, I have the approval. We're chilling, boys. Like,
yeah. And Kami just squinting it as in mocking indignation as you guys load up the cart and head out. And I think at this point, Essen decides to pull another fucking Chad move. As like Juliet fucking like cuts out the fucking side of the cart and decides to wave bye to Grandma, and Kami just waves back with a big smile on her face and says, bye, Juliet. And Essen, very, very quietly towards Kami, just kind of says, goodbye, possibly future great-grandmother-in-law, as Kami just fucking puts her hands on her hips in mock indignation.
Bruh, the fucking Essen has like ascended into Chadhood. Like like it gets worse and worse every fucking session.
Oh god, it's Essen's becoming unhinged. It's awful. I'm ready for Essen to fucking like seduce one of the villains, seduce his legion.
My fucking, I would lose my goddamn mind. I would lose it. Anyway, so they head down the road back to Soliana once again, and after a couple hours, Juliet finally sobers up and she decides to step out of the cart because she's so fucking sick of hearing these diddly damn fucking yee-haw songs of Boondock that he's been playing the entire fucking time, and they're all the damn same! Anyway.
Sober, mind you.
Sober. So she calls Cass, and he's like, pen and paper, ready to take down what she needs because he knows that she's still mad at him and whatnot. He's like, okay, well, what do you need? And she's like, okay, thanks, I'm alive, but whatever. And he's like, oh, okay. And like, so she's like, we need to talk. And he's like, okay. And basically she's like, I was wrong. She didn't say that, but you know what I mean. She'll never say that. But, she's like, I understand I need to listen to you more. more and understand your point of view before I start getting pissed. So, why don't you explain to me what exactly has happened to you? And he's like, I can, but it'll put you and the rest of the party in danger if I do tell you everything. And she's like, okay, tell me something that's not going to do that. So basically, he explains that the whole him killing a child thing happened a long time ago, and he had to do it to save everybody from another, basically another Sin Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
I had a light bulb as to who it was and why it was. I know what happened, and Juliet does not.
Well, Juliet did at least figure out one thing, though. As Juliet said, wait, the kid you killed or something like that. And as Cass kind of explains, like, yeah, my childhood growing up was rough. And I had a sibling. Had being the key word. As Juliet realizes the kid that Cass had to kill was his younger sibling.
Mm-hmm.
To
Big
save
stab.
everyone. Yeah, and so Juliet kind of realizes, like, that's just difficult for anyone to talk about. So, like, it's no wonder that he didn't say anything, because, like, the weight of that, and also the fear that, like, people would hate him because of it, especially you, like, that's paralyzing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, at this point, I believe you decided to forgive Cass,
Yes.
but made sure to tell him, like, but if anything like this comes up, you know you can talk to me, like, and so Cass promises to do so. You two begin to kind of, like, joke for a little bit as Cass just, like, tears in his eyes, just kind of says, I missed being able to chat with you like this.
Yeah, because, you know, all he has really, like, as somebody close is faith, and, like, it's faith. So, I mean, come on.
My god, out of character, you're so hostile.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. Anyway, so, he's like, oh, you guys are on your way to Soliana. That's cool. Have fun on the way up. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, oh, I'll leave that as a surprise. And I'm like, you motherfucker, what does that mean? So as they're heading towards Soliana and whatnot, all of a sudden everybody starts hearing cries for help. So the feat that I chose for Juliet, because we chose power, by the way. We didn't say that earlier, but we chose the power thing. So each of us got a feat of our choice. I chose Shadow Touched. So basically, I can go invisible for up to an hour. An hour! And I can use Disguise Self. I chose invisibility mode as a rogue with fucking plus 11 stealth. I am a god.
Yeah, so Juliet fucking, like, sneaks over to wherever the hell it is. I'm like, yeah, go ahead and roll, like, plus 11 stealth with advantage. See if anybody notices, and just like, oh, 31, is that good? I don't know. I'm like, okay, fine.
Anyway, so I sneak over there, and there's, like, this entire, like, gang of gnolls, and there is a satyr tied up, and it's the fucking same satyr we saw at the hot springs at the bar. And I was like, the fuck is this guy doing here? But okay. So we go in, and we kick ass.
Yeah, so actually, more specifically, so I think here's what happened. Juliet came in with a plan, and she was going to, like, wait until, like, the gnolls had their backs turned or something like that, and then try to free the satyr, and then start, like, kicking ass and stuff. But Boondock decides that, like, because I don't think you guys never fucking clear plans with each other.
No, we never communicate ever.
Yeah, Boondock decides to just fucking stroll up to the fucking gnolls who are harassing this poor satyr and just kind of say, like, the hell are you guys doing? As the gnolls say, like, well, to get past here, you need to pay our toll.
The gnoll toll.
The gnoll toll. And so Boondock just kind of says, like, is that legal around these parts? And so the gnolls just kind of say, like, it's legal by our law. And so, like, Boondock fucking, like, pulls out the shotgun and said, I said, is that legal by Odyssia law? As the gnolls then run over to attack Boondock and the rest of the party. Juliet manages to sneaky beak, untie the satyr and help him down. The rest of the party fucking kicks ass, takes names. Juliet steals fucking 2 null ears after she cuts them off.
Hell yeah.
Morgan fucking like eviscerates like 3 of them by like getting like he can like fire through people now, and so like he lined a shot up on like 3 of them and just like he like killed 2 of them, then scared the shit out of like 1 of them by like knocking out like half its health in 1 shot.
Morgan's
it was absolutely fucking
OP.
insane. Yeah. Yeah, so like most of the gnolls were dead. 1 of them just like ran off screaming into the woods. As the satyr introduces himself, kind of picks him up off the ground. He says like, "Oh hey, name's Sprout. Pleasure to meet you guys. Yeah, are you guys like heading up to Soliana? I'm actually headed there myself." And so like Sprout decides to hitch a ride with you guys. And
pulls out a fucking pan flute and plays what? What did you say? A G minor or something like that?
I said I don't actually know how fucking pan flutes work, and apparently you can't play like minors on a pan flute. That's on me. I didn't do my research.
But anyway, so they start all these fucking diddly damn he songs again,
Yeah.
and all of us literally left the cart because we're so fucking sick of these goddamn songs.
And worse yet, Sprout can't play the fucking fan flute. He's extremely bad at it.
So bad.
Yeah. Moonduck though is attempting to play the guitar like in tune to Sprout's little ditty.
It's so
And, yeah, no, but they're having, at least the 2 satyrs are having a nice time as the rest of you guys are outside fucking clutching your ears. And so eventually you get to a sign that says, welcome to Soliana, but the only thing you guys see are just like 3 circles in the ground, and one of the circles is bronze, 1 is silver, 1 is gold. And so Sprout just kind of like, lightly blushes and says like, "Oh hey, Boondock, after you guys get like settled down somewhere, like maybe you'd want to come to my bar or something like that, just like hang out there for a little bit." And so Juliet just immediately just like fucking jumps on that and says like, "Bar? Okay, all of us will be there."
Yeah.
As all of you decide to head on the date that Sprout decided wanted to have with Boondock.
Yep. Because I'm a shithead.
Yeah, but you guys then ask like, so where's the guild hall in the city? As Sprout kind of says like, "Oh yeah, you guys head to the Silver Circle, and it'll take you up to the Silver District. From there you should be able to find it. Just this big glass building. I'm headed up to the Bronze District myself, so I'll see you guys up there." And so like they just like, "Oh well, how do we get up there exactly?" It's just like everyone just get in the circle and everything will be fine. And so Boondock rides the cart all the way up to the circle, and as soon as he does, the magic runes begin to glow as all of you guys are catapulted into the air.
Whoosh. All of us are screaming.
Yeah, no, fucking Essence having a good time. Boondock just making the same stoic face. Morgan is like clutching to the top of the cart right now and just like screaming at the top of their lungs. Hops is also having a good time. Juliet's fucking shrieking, cursing Cass. But as you guys like are launched further like beyond the clouds, you actually like see this like floating city in the distance, and you can see that there's 2 other cities that are also like floating in the distance. And as you guys begin to fall towards the city, you're worried you're about to make a crash landing, but all of a sudden, like, your descent is slowed by the magic as you begin to gently glide towards the city instead. And you guys touch down fucking, like, shook from the experience. And fucking park the cart as you head on down to the guild hall. And, we'll get to the last 2 things in this session. As you guys get into the guild hall, you park the car, and I immediately begin describing like, "Oh yeah, the person said that you'll be in a meeting shortly, but you guys can just like wait in the meeting room in the meantime." And as you guys like approach the meeting room, you guys see like there's a bottom floor of like this giant like libraries, as well as all of these like scientists performing different experiments in the background, as Juliet decides, I'm gonna fuck around with some shit. You want to explain what you did?
So, okay, listen, I decide to explore things that shouldn't have been explored, and that's just part of the game, you know? Yeah. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go see what the scientists are doing in the back, because you were explaining, like, this is there, this is there. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go see what they're doing. So I'm just, looking around, vibing, and I see this guy, and this little toad man, like a grung, like Hops is, but like just chilling.
And he's cloak.
Little wizard cloak. He was chilling. I was like, oh, hey, what's up, dude? And he's like, I'm really busy right now. Could you not talk to me? I'm like, what you doing? He's like, I'm busy. I'm like, I'm gonna annoy you.
He's very carefully pouring like some kind of liquid into another beaker, and just like very like trying to very carefully pour like a certain amount in.
And just as he's about to pour it into the beaker, I yoink the beaker from the table, and it drops onto the table. It disintegrates, and he's just like sitting there, eyeball twitching in horror. I'm like, oh shit, sorry, dude.
And your plan was to fucking drink the liquid too.
I didn't, because I knew better, okay? I was like, never mind, I won't drink it. I'm like, oh, hey, I got you, don't worry. So I start mixing a bunch of shit together until it looks like the same consistency, and I'm like, here you go. Sorry about that, bye.
I can't believe you had the audacity to look me in the fucking eye and say, like, hey, can I just make this entire thing that this guy's been spending his entire life working on, just, like, real quick in, like, the next, like, 5 minutes here, just, like, and hand it back to him?
That'd be so funny.
It's very few times where I just say outright no to things.
Anyway, so I leave him in awe, like, how the fuck did you do that? And I go in, and Essen is sitting there, like, flabbergasted over what I just fucking did. And he looks over, and I'm like, well, what's in the room? And you're like, oh, there's, like, a bowl of pens, and, like, there's, like, a statue. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. And Essen's freaking the fuck out and takes the bowl of pens, thinking I'm gonna steal these pens. I'm like, I'm not gonna take fucking pens. What do I need those for? He's like, I don't know, probably. Or something, I don't know.
What do you need the fucking science stuff for?
I don't know.
Saying like he doesn't have a good reason.
Pens are boring. Well, I wanted something cool. Okay.
God.
That's my Juliet way. Anyway, so in comes in this Naga, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, so realistically it's Naga, but like I changed it to like Naga in my world, or like humanoid top and like the snake bodies, rather than like the D&D interpretation of like the like literally just a human face on a snake body.
So in comes this lady. Her name is Mira, and she's so frustrated because she was like 10 minutes late to this meeting that we were supposed to have, and she was like, I'm so sorry it took me so long. Some lady with fox ears decided to ruin one of my scientist experiments of 2 years, and she looks up and she sees Juliet.
Yeah, I personally like to imagine it as just like Mira like looks up and then just like smash cut to like Juliet's fox ears twitching.
Yeah, what's up? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and so Mira just sighs real long as she explains, like, okay, just like, why would any of you consider that a good idea? And like, and then she turns to Essen and just like, why are you stealing our pens anyways? Because Essen has like the bowl of pens just like clutched to his side.
Yeah.
It's that thing where like just your friend like causes some shit, but like the teacher assumes that both of you are implicated because both of you always hang out together.
Yeah.
So Essen gets fucking like gets thrown into the bus too. The Boondock begins to kind of save it and just like, yeah, no apologies to my friends here, but like, we're in need of a true sight potion because we're like, hunting down like this, shapeshifter. So like, if we could get some of that, that'd be cool and stuff like that. And so like, Mira just kind of looks at her calendar and just says like, okay, if you guys are willing to wait 4 weeks, I think I can get that to you guys. And Boondock's like, yep, that'd be awesome, thank you. As Essen's like, no, we can't wait that long.
Yeah.
As Mira just kind of sighs and just kind of says like, okay, I mean, I guess that we could do this a little bit faster, but it's gonna be rough, and you're not going to especially like this. As Juliet's like, oh come on, like, what's the plan? Like, do we need to find someone, get someone, assassinate someone? What do we need to do? It's fine. We're planning ready for anything. As Mira leans in close and says, "You're gonna have to be nice to a bunch of noble people." As Juliet's like, "Nope, okay, we can wait 4 weeks."
Wait 2 weeks. Yeah, I was like, yep, we're good.
Yeah. And as Essen and Boondock are just like, okay, hold on, okay, so like, what do you mean, like, be nice to noble people? As Mira explains, like, there's a ball in a few days now. Black tie affair. You guys need to like look as nice as possible. There's a bunch of like rich people that are like going around there. If you guys can get 5,000 gold in funding for this, as well as the approval of one of the district guild leaders, then you guys should be able to get your project much, much faster. Then she goes on to explain that, well, it's going to be, again, really rough, though, because there's only 2 district guild leaders in town. One of the district guild leaders, the Bronze district guild leader, is still currently missing right now. We have no idea where he went. And so, like, Juliet then goes on to explain, like, oh, I'll cut you a deal. Like, if we find the Bronze Guild leader, can we get our thing? And she says, like, sure, if you can find him, but, like, you know, it's going to be difficult to do so. And, like, you're going to have to still explain to him what your project is and everything. And so, like, the party now realizes, okay, we need to come up with some kind of plan then, some kind of presentation that we need to give to these, like, noble people at the ball. And because we need to get the approval from one of the district guild leaders, so either the silver or the bronze one. And then we also need to schmooze some random noble people to get that 5,000 gold, too. And so at this point, the party decides to head out, and I think this is probably where we should leave it off for today.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys head back to your about to head back to your hotel room, and like Mira just very specifically decides to call out to Juliet, like, "Oh hey, do not give me any sort of reason to kick you guys out. I swear to God." But yes, you guys can use the hotel room that's part of the Cogniocious building. But yeah, that's where we ended things off. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of PhoenixChat. We're hoping you're liking the new format. A special shout out to our patrons, the Modgoth, Nyquil Dreamer, as well as Spicy Turntable. You guys help us make better content and inspire us to keep creating this sort of stuff. Yeah, Izzy, you got a fun fact to lead us out with?
So, we're now going to do fun facts about the Phoenix Heart characters. So, we're going to start off with my girl, Juliet. Did you know that Juliet's favorite food is taiyaki? It's like those little fish fried things from Japan. I don't know. They're cool. Alright, PhoenixChat. That's it.